Hello， 我是 Cecily。那大家看到了上次接受我采访的 Doser， 当然我想大家就是看到了 Doser 呢，他运用了各种的一个预测的方法来去精准的预测出了近期以色列跟伊朗的冲突。那么当然大家就很期待想要知道呢，对于日本地震的这个预言呢，究竟 Doser 他是怎么样子去分析的。我们今天这个时间里面就会让 Doser 在这件事情上面呢，可以给我们他的观点。
奈克博士除了是世运占星的权威，他同时也是21世纪在阿拉伯文献以及拉丁文献翻译最多的国际译者。他在今年与 SATA 联手推出了大师级的研究所的课程。如果你想要深入研究占星学，那么你绝对不能错过这个为期2年的深度本命占星的课程。
Hello, Oner. Nice to meet
Hello,
you again.
Cecily.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Nice to see you again.
Yeah. And so today I think our audience is quite exciting, especially when they look at your last video and they know about you have a very accurate prediction to successfully to predict some current event. So I think that we are very exciting, would like to know what is your opinion, what is your prediction about the Japanese earthquake, maybe the potential earthquake in the future. So what is your predict about this legend?
Okay, so may I share again my slides to show
Yeah, please.
the charts I prepared for your interview, and I'm calling it July Legend.
Mm-hmm.
And to understand what will be turning around us, we can use Ingress charts. Ingress charts are used for 3 months. So this is Cancer Ingress of the Sun, which will be valid for the next 3 months, actually until the autumn. And I casted it in location to Tokyo, Japan, as the center of Japan, but it can be somewhere else. No problem. Just to show the lines, because the sun is important where it is placed in this chart, because this is Cancer Ingress and the sun in the first degree of Cancer. And with Jupiter, of course. Jupiter is benefic astrologically, but Jupiter is enlarging, increase whatever it conjunct with, or increase the event. Sometimes for the goodness, sometimes for the badness of the situation we call, because the Jupiter here combusts, as we call in classical astrology, and Jupiter is also in square aspect with Saturn and Neptune. So astrologically, Jupiter in Cancer in a good situation, very strong positioning, but when afflicted by malefic planets such as Saturn is a malefic in classical astrology, and Neptune, Saturn-Neptune conjunction is not easy to deal with in general. So Jupiter is in a hard ship actually in this, in conjunction with the Sun, squaring with Neptune and Saturn. So there might be some problems related with Jupiter or Jupiter in Cancer. Cancer means sea in general, and by sea, Cancer are about the water, seas, oceans, that sort of things. And of course, Neptune is also related with oceans and earthquake in the oceans, as well as some tsunamis, etc. So to tell the truth, we have Sun-Neptune square here, which can remind us there might be some problems related with Neptune, which is also related with oceans. But Saturn in classical astrology is related with earthquakes. Today, in our day, we are mostly relate Uranus with the earthquakes. But in the old years, ancient astrologers such as Abu Mashar or other Ottoman astrologers even, they were relating Saturn with the earthquakes, because Saturn is related with something very hard, but when we have an earthquake, it's shaking Saturn is actually normally related with the rocks, but when we have an earthquake, it's shaking. Then of course, Saturn and Neptune together in a fire sign. Fire signs are related with something fiery, such as volcanoes.
Yes.
So I think in July or after the last part of this month, June, we will have more volcanic eruptions in general. This is general, because although I casted the chart for Tokyo at the center, Japan, but this is the aspects are valid for the whole world in general. But the lines are important here. And something else, Uranus in the 29 degree of Taurus, 29 degrees and analytical degree. The last degrees of the signs are critical, analytical, problematic. Something is about to end, so there is a crisis, and Uranus will be in the last degrees of Taurus, beginning from our time nowadays until it passes to Gemini, the first degree of 7 July. So this includes 5 July actually. And when we look at the lines of this, of course, we see again, as I said, these are with the horizon passing from Turkey and the Mediterranean side of Turkey. So there might be some earthquakes in the seas of our area as well. Not only Japan or the other countries, but here as well. So very close to Iran. And of course, Yemen, this is where the meridian axis in conjunction with Saturn-Neptune conjunction. So when we pass to new moon in Cancer, and also, of course, what we see here, again, a Jupiterian conjunction in Cancer on the 25th June 2025. So when we look at their charts, this new moon indicates that there will be something related with the seas, especially in the Ege, we call it Aegean side of Turkey. There might be some earthquakes and volcanoes around the Greece, Turkey in this line. But when we look at the other side in this chart, which includes actually Japan as well, as Indonesia and Australia is very close to this area. When we look at that, what we realize that it is also passing Japan and very closely. So it indicates that around the new moon, which will happen on the 25th of June, and for the next 2 months, we will see the effects of the new moon, positively or negatively. There will be something related with sea around Japan or this, in this ocean in general. So this is likely that we might have some earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunami kind of things after the 25th of June and in the first half of July as well. And when we look at the day of 5 July, what we will have on that day, we have the moon in Scorpio trining to Jupiter's sun. So these are, again, water signs. And we have Saturn in conjunction, as we have already seen. And Uranus is just in the latest degrees of, again, Taurus. We will have Mercury and Pluto position. I cannot say that these are all very harsh aspects. We have seen some more difficult aspect patterns in the sky later or before than 5 July. But maybe a bit before or a bit later, including some solar activities, there might be some problems in July in general. Maybe not exactly on the 5th of July, but around that time, it might be. And on 5 July, as always, the sun with Sirius and Canopus fixed stars indicates when something is normal, with the Sirius effect, it can be enlarged, or Sirius means small things can be increasing in general. So, which increase or enhance the event in general, enlarge the event. This might be possible. And when we look at the 5 July astrocartography chart, we see that not these lines are passing from Japan. Neptune is a bit around that area, maybe a bit northern to Japan. And Uranus descendant axis, Uranus with the horizon, is around South Korea, North Korea. Yes, something is around that. But of course, it is more important around 25th of June when we have new moon, or before that, 21st of June when we have our ingress chart. When we look at the heliocentric chart, which I'm working with actually, this is 5 Tammuz means Tammuz.
Wow, that is a thing I don't have. I never learned about that.
Then what do we have? What else we can see over here? Because these heliocentric charts are very important in predicting these stressful events, worldly events, such as earthquakes, volcanoes, or some other, martial kind of things. Anyway, we will have, this is the Earth's symbol, by the way, we don't, because this is heliocentric chart, the Earth in square aspect with Mars. So still there will be some martial kind of things. And Jupiter is around squaring to Mars, but this is of course a separating square, which is weaker. But what is more important, when we have Mercury passing from Scorpio heliocentrically and opposing to Uranus, okay, I see very effective solar flares and CMAs, coronal mass ejections. So it is likely that we will have some coronal mass ejections around this time, around 5 July. The graphics about the earthquake graphics, which we are using to predict important earthquakes worldly in general, it is designed by Sirius Astrology program. So I'm just showing you. I was unprepared about this. So this is the graphic for earthquakes, earthquake predicting graphic, which is casted from Sirius software. So we see that in the beginning of Tammuz, July 1-4, the graphic is showing up. So this is general, not specific to Japan or everywhere. This is general. So generally, we will have more earthquakes. Over 6 magnitude, big earthquakes, at least 6 or 7, etc. This might be around 1 to 4 of July. And then we will have another peak between 8-12 Tammuz, July, and these are the others, but lastly, in the beginning of, we will have a big one. So this shows us that beginning of July and beginning of August will be very peak times spikes in general. So this is also a way of seeing if there will be some big earthquakes, important earthquakes around the time which we are, looking for, that we are looking for around 5 July. Then between 1 to 4 July, this is very high. This is another predicting, as I said.
Okay. Thank you, Dosa. So according to your prediction, then we can say that is a possibility is around by the end of June to the beginning of July. And also the beginning of August, there could be very serious earthquake. But it's not specific only in Japan. It could be the most intense area, including maybe the East Mist and like Egypt, and also like including Turkey. That area could be.
Yes, we could say that. Because mostly the scientists are saying that in July we will have more solar flares. This will be the peak of solar flare, July 2025. And when we look at the geomagnetic storms nowadays we are having, and also there are some coronal holes. Sometimes they are turning our Earth side. So in the next days ahead, the coronal hole for the 9th time will be turning around the Earth side of the sun. So for the next few days, around the 21st of June, I can say, we will have more events such as earthquakes or that sort of things, volcanoes, etc. And since we will have more solar flares and CMAs when they are in the side of the Earth, direct side of the Earth, we can have something more. So it is likely that we might have some big earthquakes by the end of June and in July, August as well. But mostly July is very important, in the beginning of July and in the beginning of August. So it might be around Japan because as we have seen from the graphics and the astrocartography chart, it shows that area, but I cannot say that on the exact day of 5 July there will be big earthquake, tsunami. You know, I wouldn't say that, but I would say that yes, there will be something maybe big around that time. I couldn't say that this will be very destructive, many people will die. No, I cannot say. I cannot be sure about it. We cannot be exact about this. I wish we could say that exactly so that people would, you know, save themselves to be more safe. But these are just probabilities, and we cannot know the, you know, areas, the Earth crust. We cannot know them exactly. That's it. That's
but
all I can.
That is the techniques we have, then that is thing we can do. But even we cannot accurately to do the prediction, but I think that this information is also very valuable for people, because I think that this information is accurate enough. You can point the area, you can point the certain period of time, and a certain period of the area. That is already a very precious information.
Again, as I said, we cast these graphics from Sirius astrology software, which I have given some combinations when they are preparing this. And thanks to Faye Kohrain, who is now heading to Sirius program, because she is sending me every month these graphics. So I can warn my people when they are very stressful. Of course, we cannot know the exact area, but we can say that in these days, it is worth to be more attention or paying more attention to be more, you know, careful, just like that.
I think thank you for Doser to give us a very precious information again, and thank you to accept my interview. And I believe my audience will be very happy if they have a chance can see you again.
Pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me, having me.
Okay. Thank you again, Doser. 那如果大家喜欢这次这个影片的话，欢迎帮我们的影片分享给更多人看见。如果你们对于 Doser 的内容有很多想要去探索的话，也欢迎能够去 follow Doser 他的脸书还有 Instagram。那我们下次再见了，拜拜。
拜拜。